Good morning. Boy, did we have a crazy weekend with the weather. We had snow and ice and freezing temperatures. Of course, we're in the South, so it wasn't nearly as bad for us as it was for a lot of you. Now, today the sun is shining. It's really pretty outside. I had to close my blinds because the sun was in my face. And it's supposed to be 55 or 56 degrees today. Go figure. Um, So welcome back to nancyalexander.me. This is my blog site where I'm talking a lot more about personal things and about health issues and the fibromyalgia and the celiac that I face. And we talked last week about how I haven't been feeling as well, so I know what to do about it. Just doing it is so hard, and it shouldn't be. But today is 3 weeks without any Diet Cokes, only water. Yay! If you've done the same thing, yay for you too. I got many emails from y'all last week saying you wanted to follow along with me and you wanted to. This is sort of a health challenge. It's just something I was going to do on my own, and I thought those of you who are having health problems or have fibromyalgia or celiac like I do, I thought you might want to follow along and do some of the same things that I'm doing. So, sugar. I had one day with no sugar. I had several days with just a little sugar. And then my husband works at Duke Energy and he's retiring in 3 days. So they had a big reception for him at the plant. And cakes like you would not believe. They made a huge tiger cake because my husband and I both we went to Clemson. So he had to have a Clemson tiger. And they found out that I was gluten-free, so they made me my own gluten-free cake, which was beautiful, and I was not going to eat any of it, but I made a mistake by tasting it. And you know, after you've gone for so long without having good cakes, when you finally taste one or get a slice of one, it is really hard to turn it down. So we have a lot of cake left because it was a huge tiger. It was like 40-something inches long, not to count the width and the height. So I'm giving those away today. If you live nearby, you can drop by and get some free tiger cake. Okay, I'm going to do better with my sugar. I've already started this morning. I posted a photo last week on Facebook of some muffins that I make. And everybody's wanting the recipe, so I'm going to post the recipe today. But I'm going to try a little variation today because the recipe that I used had coconut oil. Not a whole lot, but enough that I don't want it in there. And it had a lot of honey, and I don't want that much honey. So my plan today is to substitute both of those for natural applesauce. I've done that before many times. Back when I used to make brownies for the boys and I didn't want them to have so much oil in their brownies, I put applesauce and they never knew the difference. And my daughter-in-law told me yesterday that she makes brownies and shh, it's a secret. If her family knew what was in them, they wouldn't eat them anymore. But these are their favorite brownies. She puts no oil, no eggs, no extra sugar, no milk, and she opens a little small can of pumpkin with nothing else added to it except pumpkin. You can't taste the pumpkin, you don't know it's there. Really, you don't know it's there. or my husband and my 3 grandchildren would not eat it. Now, I want to talk a little bit about gluten today. Gluten is the main thing that caused so many problems in my life. My gluten sensitivities came from having celiac disease, and apparently I was born with celiac. You may or may not have that. If you, oh, I thought someone drove up the driveway, but they didn't. It was the wind blowing. You can have a gluten sensitivity and not have celiac. And you can be so severely allergic to gluten that if you get just the tiniest bit, it puts you in the hospital. It is life-threatening. Luckily, mine is not that kind, but mine severely affects my muscles. So I wanted to explain to each of you what gluten is, where it is, and what you need to avoid. And I have avoided gluten. I was trying to remember the other day. 7, 8, 9 years, I don't remember anymore. And I don't eat it. I will never eat it because I know how it makes me feel. But one strange thing happened when I started leaving off gluten, and I would get soy in different products. After the gluten was gone, I found out I was more severely allergic to soy than I was to gluten. That's strange, huh? So I'll tell you why. I've done some research. All right, gluten. It comes from grains, wheat, barley, and rye. That's all gluten is. It comes from those 3 grains. Now, a lot of people say, well, many years ago, nobody had celiac disease. Nobody had all of these problems, and people ate whole wheat bread, they ate barley, they ate rye. Yeah, but all of the seeds had not been treated, and the fields had not been treated with pesticides and all the stuff that they do to those grains now. They're different. They're changed. They're not the same grains that our grandparents ate, great-grandparents. So I found out I was allergic to soy. And I thought, well, that's not gluten. There are soy allergies. But for me, we believe there's a reason I am so severely allergic to soy. First off is farm practices. You know how farmers rotate crops in their fields? Well, if they grow soybeans one year, they grow wheat the next year. So the fields are cross-contaminated. And that is enough contamination to make me sick. And it may be enough contamination to make you sick. So I am very wary of soy now. I'm very careful about soy. Farmers also use the same combines, the same storage facilities, and the same trucks to store and move and process soybeans as they do wheat or barley or rye. If you want soy, and you can find some that is what they call certified gluten-free, but you're going to have to look on the package. You're going to have to make sure it says certified gluten-free. Because I have found soy is in almost every salad dressing I ever liked. I have found several now that I really do like. Soy is in, oh gosh, I can't even begin to list the number of products that when I read the label, soybean products, soy lecithin, start reading your labels and you'll be surprised. There are other foods that are contaminated by soy. And they're unusual foods, foods you wouldn't think about. One of them is mushrooms. One of them is strawberries. Can you guess why? You know, when you go out in a field and you pick these beautiful, big, fat strawberries, if you've got a field near you that grows them, they're all resting on beds of straw. That keeps the dirt off the strawberries. It keeps them clean. It keeps the plants clean. So, and the same for mushrooms. So those two products are grown resting on beds of gluten and grains that we can't have. So there are 5 grains that you can have. One is sorghum, buckwheat, tapioca. Now tapioca's good. You can thicken foods with tapioca. Kind of like gravy, if you like gravy, and I do. Quinoa and amaranth. Okay, I have to confess, I've tried buckwheat, I've tried sorghum, and I've tried tapioca. I have not, well, I have a bag of quinoa in my pantry right now. There's just something about it. I haven't been able to make myself try it, but I'm sure it's very good. A lot of people like it, so I've got to try it. There are other things you can eat. I've been perfectly happy without gluten. We make our own bread. I buy something called Pamela's bread mix. I get it by the case. There's 6 packs in a case, and we order it from Amazon. And I think I should put the link on this page for you because it's really, really easy to make. If you've got a bread machine, my husband makes it now. Actually, his is better than mine. I tell him that anyway. No, it really is. And then there's another bread that I buy, and it surprised me where we found it, and it's from Aldi's. Aldi's has gluten-free dark and white bread, and it's a softer bread, and it's the kind that makes a really good sandwich, like white bread. You know, used to make chicken salad sandwiches and egg salad sandwiches with white bread. I missed that for a long time because the bread that we were making in our bread machine just did not make good sandwiches. But now that I have found the loaf bread from Aldi's, I can have good sandwiches again. Let's see, what else am I eating? We had ribs last night. No, not ribs. We started to buy ribs. We bought pork loins because they were on sale. I cooked them with some chicken broth and some barbecue sauce. But I only used the Kraft original barbecue sauce because all of the others had soy. And then I toned it down a little bit with the chicken broth because I can't eat it really strong anyway. I have found a lot of really strong spices just bother me a lot. And that was so good. All of our kids just loved it. They said it was the best barbecue they'd ever had. So I did good. Sometimes I can't fool them with my gluten-free meals. There was something else that we made just recently I wanted to tell you about. Oh, it left me. That's okay. I'll save it for next week. I am still working toward feeling better. I've got my water right here. I usually have a big tall cup. I probably drink, this is 16 ounces. I probably drink 4 or 5, maybe even 6 of these a day. Drink lots of water. Don't lick envelopes because that is glue. Glue is from gluten. Lactose, milk, leave it off. I didn't think I could live without that, I can. I used to notice from time to time my stomach was really, really bloated. And now I know why. It's when I would make salmon stew with whole milk, or I would make chicken and dumplings with whole milk, or eat too much cereal with whole milk. Last night, I used some almond milk and some cashew milk. And I've been using almond milk and rice milk for a while. This was my first try at cashew milk, and I loved it. You cannot tell it's from cashews. I made mashed potatoes with cashew milk, a little bit of butter, and salt and pepper. My husband loved them. There are ways to work around this, and I'm going, in my video blog for you, I'm going to go through a lot of these. Every Monday, I want to encourage you. I want you to know that you can do this. You have to do it. You have to feel better. I have to do it. I have to feel better. That doesn't mean it's really easy. The hard part is getting started, because I'm right still in that hard part right now. Although I've still kind of been on my diet anyway. So, we can do it, y'all. I'll encourage y'all. Y'all encourage me. And we'll do it together. And we're going to feel awesome, and we're going to have so much time to spend with our family and our friends, and keep a house clean, which I don't do too well right now, and travel, and whatever else you feel like God wants you to do. It's our responsibility to make sure our bodies are healthy so we can follow God's will for our lives, because I truly don't want to miss a single thing He has for me. Okay, I've just been babbling on and on again. I tend to do that. I hope you have an awesome, awesome day. I just sent my newsletter out. Make sure to watch for it. I will talk to you again next Monday. Bye.